Look at this, guys, the barns has been chopped and everything. Oh, it's kicking off. Welcome back to the wonderful Lake District National Park, and today, Wainwright number 3. I'm not losing count just yet, but today, Stone Arthur. I'd love for you to join me. Let's crack on. So I'm just going to have a nice little resty. There we go. Are you okay, Mr. Camera? Is that alright for you? Something that's just popped into my head and I just want to chat about it, and it's a bit more towards the photography side of things. Let's get the bag off. It's all to do with the conditions that we have today. So today is cloudless sky. You know, one of them days when there's literally not a cloud. And I think it's proper drilled into us as landscape photographers that they're not the best conditions to be out in, you know, with your camera. And I think for the most part that is true-ish, you know. I sound like a broken record, but I love drama. I love interest in the sky, clouds or mood, just anything. I think it just adds to the photograph, whereas when it's like this, it's just a bit of a blank canvas. But what I was thinking was, one thing that you are guaranteed, provided it stays like this of course, is the light. You know, that incredible side light during the golden hour. Of course you have to be out during the golden hour for this to work. But you're guaranteed that beautiful golden light, that incredible side light on the fells, you know, when you're up on a peak. And alright, yeah, you haven't got the interest up there in the sky, but it's like a bit of a trade-off. To be guaranteed that light, you know, you're making the effort to go up a fell, you might have been on a bit of a drive, who knows. That's a hell of a guarantee, like. And I think it just comes back to what I've been saying so much recently, you know. Just try and make the best of whatever you've got. You know, the hands that you've been dealt, just get out with your camera. Just try and make something of it. I think we're a bit moany, aren't we, landscape photographers? I certainly am. Definitely speaking on behalf of myself. It's never quite right. I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. It's because I've experienced those euphoric evenings and mornings when everything is actually pretty much perfect. So you're always kind of longing for that. So when there's no clouds, you're thinking, oh, I could do with a few clouds, like. It'd be good if you could, like, you know, like Photoshop the conditions and then click a button, it says, right, make sure the conditions stay like this for 3 hours. That'd be class, wouldn't it? How good would that be? So what's my fell called? Stone Arthur, also known as Arthur's Chair. Really steep, but quite modest. However, we are going to get some stunning views back into the central Lake District over Grasmere, the Grasmere and the Rydal Valley, Loughrig Fell, Helm Crag. We're looking out to the west where the sun is setting, so hopefully I can make the most of this guaranteed light. Watch it like cloud over now and just go grim. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'll let you into a little secret. It's not really a fell, it's not really a secret either, because it says it in Wainwright's guide. It's not really like a proper fell, it's more just an outcrop, but Wainwright says that down on the road near Grasmere, when you look up at it, it really looks like a fell. And when I was down there, I parked up in the Red Beast, and it does, it looks like a real prominent fell. But yeah, it's more of just an outcrop, and looking up at it now, I'm really excited because I think it's going to be, well, it's definitely going to be really craggy up there, and it's going to give us lots of foreground options for the photography. So let's try and work with this cloudless sky, and let's crack on up to Stone Arthur. Mint. So one thing I love about the Wainwright guides for each particular fell or Wainwright, I guess they weren't called Wainwrights when he did it, is that he always names the tarns or the lakes that you can see, you know, like the proper named ones that you can see from the particular fell. So it's always really exciting. because as I start walking up, you kind of start spotting them. So Grasmere down there, you know what I mean, I could see that when I got out of my car. But then over there where the sun is, we've got Easdale Tarn, and then we're just starting to get what is Alcock Tarn over in the background there. And I don't know, I love that. I love things like that. It's really cool. And one thing that I've really found about his guides is, of course, they've not been written for landscape photographers specifically, just people that enjoy the hikes. So as opposed to like a proper photography guide, you kind of just get a little bit of information about the area, but not enough for it to kind of like influence what you're going to photograph too much. As much as I love a proper photography guidebook, I think they're wonderful in their own right as well. But you know, the compositions and things that you're going to photograph, you don't really know, you know, so it's still a real adventure when you come out. I'm still surprised every time that I come out to a Wainwright, regardless of what I've read. But yeah, I just think little touches like that are absolutely class. Right, not too far. I haven't really wanted to get the camera out just yet. Nothing's really caught my eye enough. And I do think because we don't have any clouds, as they're complaining already, because we don't have any clouds, the light is still really harsh. And that's all going to change soon enough. We're about an hour and 10 minutes till the sunset. Sweet. So I've just grabbed a real quick kind of snapshot. I should stop saying that really. I think it undermines the photograph a little bit. It's nice, you know, it's pleasant. Basically all it is a bit of a wide shot from the fell. I've got some of these crags on the right hand side of the frame, which is where I've put my focal point. And they're nice. It's pretty much as you're seeing it there on your screen, guys. So the eye should fall down from these crags into Grasmere down there, and obviously the lake. Some really nice fells off in the background. We're looking back towards Wetherlam, Coniston Old Man, Lingmore Fell. And then on what's going to be the very far left-hand side, we can see Coniston Water, Alcock Tarn, and actually right back into Morecambe Bay as well, which is cool. But I do quite like these sorts of photographs, and I want to get them as I'm doing the Wainwrights, because at the very least it shows a nice perspective of the vista that you get from the particular fell, if you know what I mean. So really I knew I was going to get this photograph before I came up here, because I want to, and you know, they should be treated with respect. However, I'm also grabbing a shot with the long lens, and this is one of them, right? I noticed this photograph when I looked back on the wide shot, and I always say this, or I say this quite a lot about telephoto photographs, is it's almost like a photograph within a photograph. So I was reviewing the wide shot that I got, and I noticed, see there, so if I do like a little square there, I'll put it up on the screen like that, that's going to be the shot, and I'm going to zoom in there. So yes, we've still got a little bit of these crags are going to be at the bottom right hand side of the frame still, but then we've only got Wetherlam there off in the background with some really nice light on it. So I'll grab that now as you're looking. So it's f11 because I'm focusing on these crags here, and I don't want Wetherlam to be too blurred in the background. About 70mm, f11 and 1/60th of a second, so it's fine to shoot handheld with VR on. I trust that even at quite a long focal length. Grab that now. Lovely. Histogram is absolutely perfect. I'll show you that. I know a lot of you are interested. See how it's not clipping the right hand side, and it's very close to the shadows on the left hand side, but it's not clipping them either. So we've really got a lot of information in that whole photograph, you know, when it comes to post-processor. But that's nice. You know, I love things like that. So I'll show you the two images now. I'll show you the wide one first, and then the zoomed in one. And then I'll meet yous up at the top of Stone Arthur. It's only a couple of minutes now.
You're up in the sky, I'll carry you home, home to the mountaineers. And soon, my friend, you'll see them again, the ones you left behind, the ones you left behind. And I'll sing for you all the way home.
So I think I mentioned earlier, it's got a bit chilly by the way, hence all the extra garments. I think I mentioned earlier that in Wainwright's guide he says there's not even a proper summit up here. probably because it's not really a proper fell, you know. But from what I can tell, this rock here is the highest point of this little area. So we'll get on up, we'll give it a tap, and that's number 3 in the can. Whoa. Beauty. Oh, let's get the bag. So to be honest, I'll be happy enough to get like 2 of the same shots again that I got before, but like better versions of them, if that makes sense. Because we're up here now. Oh, these crags, look at these sorts of things here. These really, really excite me. Just to use as foreground interest, you know. Quite like we were doing when we were up Whiteless Pike. It's a bit dodgy. Bit of a cliff edge there. So that's what I'm going to do, basically just try and better those other 2 photographs, I suppose. I'd be happy to get one wider shot with a bit more light in the foreground and one telephoto maybe. There I am! Look at that idiot! Right, let's see what we can find. Because it's one of them, because there's no interest in the sky, this isn't me complaining, just trying to be a realist, that's my excuse. Once the sun goes down behind the fells, that's kind of it, because then there isn't really going to be like a sunset because there's no clouds to be lit up, you know. So I need to make the most of that, and that's probably only going to be there for the next 10 or 15 minutes, so hopefully I can find a nice composition. So you can probably tell it's quite a lot darker now than it was. We're into the blue hour. Basically got chatting to somebody up the fell, a gentleman called Jeff, who is weird. Like, we met a week or 2 ago up the top of another fell, and we just met here now. Madness. So hello to Jeff if you're watching, mate. So we were just chatting during the sunset and stuff, so apologies, I haven't showed you any or how I've taken any of the photographs. I'll show you them at the end of the video. But yeah, I was essentially just using some of the rocks up there as the foreground, like I said I was going to, and just making the most of the light that was hitting the foreground, as opposed to the shot before it where the foreground was dark. And they were nice, you know, it was a beautiful vista from up there, and I'm sure they're going to be quite pleasant, but nothing particularly exciting, I wouldn't say. Use be the judge. I'll show you them now. There was 1 or 2. But anyway, as always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Out!